in. They're going to see that this armory is complete, that there is a second. Begin the assault. EMP grenades are out here in order to start doing damage to these tanks, and they're unfortunately going that BartJones has started a fight over on the main base of Lamas. Lamas doing Welcome to Kane's Wrath. I'm your host, Korak, and today's map is on Tournament Odyssey. Disclaimer, this is a series, a practice between two higher level players. They are either having fun or working on builds. Starting us off in the bottom left-hand corner, wearing the green robes in the black hand gloves, we have Lamas. His opponent for the moment in the top right-hand corner, wearing the yellow robe, sporting the GDI gloves, here is BartJones. Both fighters ready? Begin! I just wanted to state, with this being my third BartJones cast, the allegations of Bart locking me into his basements to promote his contents has no validity. Please help me. Tournament Odyssey does not have any blue Tiberium in the center or on the sides like plenty of the other maps, but there is an even number of Tiberium moving into each expansion. There are also two safety Tiberium spikes, so you are not likely to get those sniped by your opponent on your way over to them. There is an EMP control center in the center, but it usually doesn't get taken. Let's see if I'm proven wrong in this game. BartJones has already begun his move over to his expansion over on the right-hand side of the map, and it looks like we have a Reckoner rush over from Lamas over here. Let's see how successful it is. It doesn't look like there's any scouts right now as of yet for BartJones to see this coming. He could potentially get something good out of this. If he can get a refinery and a war factory, this could be a match that is over particularly fast, unless he's going straight for the construction yard. That does appear to be the case. He's going to try his best to take out the construction yard, and I'm not sure there is a strong enough response to be able to stop him as of yet. That construction yard is already at half HP. There was a block put down by the power plant, but I'm not sure it's going to be able to do too much. MCV does try to move its way out, but I think it is too little too late. APC is here to help out, but it's only going to be able to do so much. 3 APCs are here, but the MCV goes down. The Reckoner has not deployed, and it is backing its way out, potentially looking for another angle. That is a great purchase for BartJones. BartJones was able to take those buildings without deploying the Reckoner. That is massive. He also got a power plant for good measure, granting the Black Hand Squad inside a rank up. Reckoner is going to do as its name says on the tin and continue to wreck that side of the map. It does look like BartJones has set up a pillbox over on the bottom side of the map, but there's not too much that can see. He's going to be able to see expansions, and when Lamas here is going to be able to start setting up his defenses, setting up his army. Words are hard. It does look like we actually have a response now from BartJones. BartJones has moved out some pit bulls, has moved out some APCs with rocket squads inside of them, so they're going to be able to deal a lot of damage to a good number of things, like these Cabal squads. This Cabal squad's going to go down relatively quickly, and BartJones is going to move his way over to the harvesters of Lamas. Lamas in low power mode, so his laser turrets are doing nothing as of yet. One harvester does get taken out. These APCs so far are relatively unstoppable. It looks like there is almost a full load of Tiberium in that harvester that they are going to be able to get. BartJones is going to be able to find a lot of purchase in these APCs. Another set of laser towers do get set out to take on these APCs, but the APCs are decided to go completely deep. They have decided to go for that last harvester, trying to get that third harvester as quickly as they can. Unfortunately, the harvester gets some repairs off, and they were not able to take them out in time. Missile squads were able to eject in time. That was good micro on BartJones's end, so he's going to try the best he can to move those units out slowly. I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to do, though, other than a little bit of damage on these continued harvesters, and BartJones just doing the best he can to get his revenge on Lamas over here. This was initially looking not super great for BartJones, but he's managed to find some way to turn it around. He does now have another APC out. He has 2 War Factories ready to go, and it looks like Lamas has decided to go into some man spam of his own to move forward on the map. I believe APCs are going to be the answer to all of this. That is going to be a lot. Well, no, I take it back. It looks like he's going Shatterer instead to deal with those. Predator tanks to soak up the damage, and Shatterers here along with a couple of GDI infantry. It looks like BartJones is also going for the secondary natural expansion of Lamas here. He's decided to be extremely aggressive. Lamas is moving his way up as well, slowly but surely, along with his man spam. This could be a potentially precarious situation for the MCV of actually both players. They're both kind of in sort of a cruddy spot for them to be in. Looks like BartJones is the first to deploy on that secondary natural expansion of Lamas over on this side of the map. Tanks are going to move forward to try to get the crush, but there's just way too much man spam here in order for them to move forward and get any crushes whatsoever. APC goes down, tank goes down, and it looks like a Shatterer is going to go down as well, giving some ranks to one of these rocket squads. It looks like BartJones right now is a little outnumbered on this side of the map. BartJones is going to need some sort of answer to this man spam, especially because they are moving on his second MCV. There are a large number of watchtowers, but they are not in range to start shooting this infantry. His MCV is already at half HP. This is not looking great for BartJones. He was able to take some harvesters early on, which were massive, and he decided to be extremely aggressive, moving into the secondary natural expansion of Lamas over here. Lamas also about to lose his MCV as well. It's going to be an MCV for an MCV, but the other side of this, though, too, is that BartJones is running out of economy, and there it is. BartJones has officially run out of everything that he could to do that. He did the best he could to try to turn that around, and he made a good effort, but Lamas was just on top of it. The man spam and the taking out of the MCV early on just gave him way too much of an advantage. That's the round, Commander. Grab a drink, get a snack, and meet me in the next one. Welcome back, Commander. We are in round 2 on the map Tiberium Rift. Our score is now 1-0, with Lamas taking the lead. This battle is sponsored by Snooze Button Ninjas, masters of the extra 5 minutes. Over here on the bottom right-hand side of the map, wearing the green robe, sporting the black hand gloves, the Reckoner of last round, Lamas. Now over in the top left-hand corner, wearing the yellow robe, sporting the GDI gloves, the definitely not my sponsor, BartJones. Both fighters ready? Begin! Tiberium Rift is a map that forces the players to move in a counterclockwise direction, bringing the middle of the map into focus, where they can fight over the blue Tiberium field. Last item of note is there is only one Tiberium spike per player, meaning that the resources they gather from these fields will be extremely important, especially into the late game. But as we saw last time, let's see if we get something, and there it is right there. That is the Operations Center over here on this side of the map. We're probably going to see another Reckoner and or Flame Tank rush. Let's see if BartJones is ready for it this time around. It doesn't look like he's been able to get a good scout off as of yet. He does have a pillbox over on this side of the map, but if they go to the north, he won't be able to do much to stop that. We do get the immediate sell-off of the Operations Center with 2 Black Hand squads in the Reckoner, so this is going to be another Reckoner push into BartJones' base. BartJones does have an APC out. If he's lucky, he will see the Reckoner just in time, although it looks like it is changing directions. That is not good for BartJones. This Reckoner moving into his base a second time would not do super well for him. It looks like they are going to clash, and he's going to be able to see it, but the important part will be what kind of response time BartJones can get out of it. The two Pitbulls are here. Those can be the answer to this Reckoner rush, and the Reckoner is already almost down to half HP. Another Pitbull comes out, and that is going to be pretty much the end of this Reckoner rush. These Pitbulls just have to finish off what is left here. Those Black Hand squads will be something to worry about, but if he's got APCs, he'll be able to take them out relatively quickly. APC moving back in to kill the Reckoner rush, and that looks to be the end of this push right here. That is going to be good for BartJones. BartJones is still going to have to backstep just a little bit because these Black Hand squads are no pushovers. However, he does have plenty of time to build more APCs and or watchtowers if he needs them. But it does not matter. One APC was able to take out the majority of those Black Hand squads, so that's going to be very good for him. That means that his opponent, that means that Lamas over here is going to be down a little bit of resources because he had to spend money on that Reckoner, the two Black Hands, well, I guess one Black Hand, and then he had to spend money on the Operations Center. Granted, he did sell the Operations Center, but I do not believe you get your full amount of money back. And speaking of the counterclockwise positioning, it looks like both players have started to move into their natural expansions, with Lamas just being a little bit behind over on this side of the map because he did that Reckoner rush. That's going to give BartJones a little bit more of the advantage in the mid, possibly the late game. However, both these players can make mistakes in order to make the cost not worth it. With this being a smaller map resource-wise, every unit's going to cost just a little bit extra. Not having that secondary tip spike is going to mean slower starts, and it's going to mean more staggering later on into the late game. It will be interesting to see if any of these players do decide to go for their the natural expansion of their opponents, but that is one heck of a trek to get over there. Pitbulls have started to start some harassment over on the green side of the map, over on Lamas' side of the map, and they're probably going to be able to get a Harvester relatively for free. There is a bike here, but that bike's only going to be able to do so much. Harvester is going to try to skirt around, get some bonus armor, get some bonus repairs, try to get what he can, but I think it's going to be too little, too late. It only needs 1 or 2 more shots left on it. However, 2 Pitbulls have already gone down for this. BartJones is going to lose 3 Pitbulls for no gains, unfortunately, for him. The micro was just too on point for Lamas. He was able to say that. However, BartJones is not done. BartJones has moved into the northern part of his base with more Pitbulls. It looks like to start attacking this natural expansion. That's going to be good for him if he can get any of these Harvesters. He does manage to take out 1 Harvester, which is going to delay him even more. The Orca Strike comes out on the refinery, but there was nothing in there in order for them to attack. Second Harvester is going to get taken down here relatively quickly, and reinforcements are going to be called in from BartJones over on this side of the map, but there is some a small amount of man spam here to fight it, and this is not looking good for Lamas as of right now. BartJones has just been absolutely on top of it inside his base with this harassment, stopping the Reckoner. He learned his lessons last time around, and he's improving on that. We do have 2 laser towers, which is going to stop a lot of this, but another Harvester goes down for Lamas, pushing his resources, pushing his economy back even more. Lamas is going to have a steep hill to climb. BartJones is just absolutely on top of it. And the other item of note to bring in is that because BartJones is continuing this assault, he is not getting attacked. And I say that, and here comes 5 bikes right here. They do have enough volleys to take out a Harvester if they can get 2 good volleys off. However, I believe BartJones has the defenses to take it out. Unfortunately, the bikes are going to waste some of their resources on these minefields. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that was a good strategy. He did get the bikes to waste those resources, and that's going to be good for him. And it looks like BartJones was trying to sneak into the center of the map, possibly to take this blue Tiberium, but was able to nope out just in time. These bikes are finally going to lose 1 unit. I don't think BartJones is real worried about them as of right now. They can be annoying. They can sneak back into the base, but there are plenty of defenses. It looks like the transition for BartJones is going to be to go into these Predator tanks and have some of this APC and Pitbull spam. Well, I say spam, but support for the Predator tanks. And that's probably not a bad idea. You're going to need APCs to take out the man spam of Black Hand. Black Hand just does a lot with their man. Units moving into the secondary natural expansion of Lamas over here. BartJones moving in, trying to see what he can see, possibly trying to delay the advancement, and he's going to try and do just that. However, like I said before, this is a lot of man spam, but even if BartJones sacrifices this unit, what it's going to do is it's going to push back Lamas even further in his economy. And the trade-off's going to be, you know, if losing all of these units are going to be worth it to delay that economy even further. And it looks like actually the APC is going to come out on top. I thought the man spam was going to be able to do a bit more there. That's not going to be good for Lamas. Lamas is bringing more forces over here to stop this, but this entire time he is not going to be able to harvest. He's not going to be able to start on this secondary natural expansion. It does look like BartJones decided to move to his secondary natural expansion, so he's ahead of the curve when it comes to Lamas as of right now, and BartJones is just absolutely hammering the construction yard over here in the northern side of the map. I'm not sure where these Confessor Cabal squads are going. They need to do what they can to support this push here, and he does lose his MCV. That is another 3,500 down the drain. The economic losses for Lamas were just too much for him to continue that. He decides to throw in the towel, bringing us to the next round. What a clash, Commander! It is now time for a bit of a relax. Join me in round 3. There you are, Commander. We have moved into round 3 on the map Toxicity. The score is now tied up at 1-1. This battle is sponsored by Hypothetical Gym Membership, where the only workout is your imagination. Here he is in the top left-hand corner wearing the green robe, sporting the black hand gloves, the I'll get you next time, Lamas. Not missing his chance in the top right-hand corner wearing the yellow robe, sporting the GDI gloves, we have BartJones. Both fighters ready. Begin! Both of these fighters seem to be evenly matched in this series. Let's see how the map and their strategies unfold. It will be very nice if we get another Reckoner Rush, but I don't believe we're going to get another one. I believe BartJones has wised up to that and is going to position himself in a way in which he can see. And there it is, the Rifleman squad is going to move into the base and probably set up a pillbox inside of Lamos's base, so if anything sneaky like another rush like that happens, he's going to be able to see it coming. It does look like BartJones is also on top of moving on to his natural expansion, focusing a little bit heavier on eco this time around, which is why he doesn't have APCs out to deal with this Cabal Confessor squad just harassing his Tiberium Spike. Although it'll take quite a large amount of time for those units to take it out, but free damage is free damage, and that's going to cost money for BartJones later down the line. It does look like BartJones has opted for setting up multiple sets of infantry with pillboxes across the map to see if something sneaky is coming his way to protect that northern side of the map, so a flame tank or a Reckoner Rush doesn't come his way. Not a bad strategy, and it doesn't look like Lamas has the time or opportunity to get one going, or he may not even have the intent. Lamas is also setting a War Factory on his natural expansion, starting off with early War Factory opposed to the one War Factory as of right now of BartJones. That means that he's going to be able to get a couple more units out probably before BartJones. BartJones does have a couple of these pit bulls out to do some damage, but I suspect he's going to lose one here in a second to these units. He does, however, get a full load of blue Tiberium, so that's going to be super helpful to him early on in the game. That's just going to be one little notch to give him a small lead. Bike Buggy moving into what I'm guessing is probably going to go after the Tiberium Spike, try to get a free kill on this if it is possible. Right now, BartJones has not noticed. BartJones has not moved forward to try to take out any of these forces. First set of tanks are out to deal with this threat. The Predator tanks are going to be able to do a good chunk of damage to that. However, if BartJones doesn't move quickly, he's going to lose this Tib Spike for free. Bike and Buggy do get pushed out, taking one Buggy out just as a last little hurrah in the end, and it looks like BartJones has set up his secondary War Factory and is ready to rumble in this jungle. Blue Tiberium is growing back quite nicely. The dance has begun over on the center of the map. Both these players looking for free shots. Both these players looking for holes in their armor, sharking around one another, looking to see what they can get their hands on. It looks like we're getting a large amount of Cabal Cavester squads, probably as preparation for some man spam to soak up some of these shots. And I'm guessing he's going to switch into maybe some Black Hand at some point, as well as some rockets over on this side of the map. One Pitbull does get taken out over here in this skirmish, but at the cost of a bike. That is a good trade for Lamas. So far, he's been able to keep up with these trades in a relatively good way, and he is transitioning into man spam right now. If BartJones doesn't have an answer to that, that's going to be hard to deal with. He does have a large number of APCs, but I don't think any of these APCs have anyone in them as of right now. That does not appear to be the case. There's no one in there. There's no infantry. There's no rocket squads. So right now they're just pure APCs. But maybe with, oh, it looks like 3 war factories. It looks like BartJones is going full vehicles this time around. I think that'll be an interesting strategy, but the GDI vehicles are relatively strong, so they can pull off a good number of things. It would be nice to see a Shatterer, and I say it, and there's one right there. So it looks like we're going to at least have some Shatterers to begin this engagement. Lamas is going to be able to take the defensive tower. I'm not sure that's going to be worth it, though, because he's going to lose a good chunk of units for it. Although I say that BartJones also loses some units as well. So this minor skirmishing, this minor back and forward could still go in Lamas's round. And this whole time, he's still building up this man spam. But there also seems to be a large number of Shatterers, a good number of Shatterers. Instead of just having 1 or 2, it looks like that is going to be BartJones' answer to the man spam, is these Shatterers. And if BartJones is not careful, he's going to get pincered here by these 2 units. I'm not sure why Lamas didn't decide to go around the mountain and pinch off what he could. He could have potentially dealt with less damage, less line of sight, and taken out more of these units by going around. A large number of the Shatterers are going to get taken out by the man spam as well as APCs, and the fight has continued. However, most of the bike and buggy of Lamas is taken out, leaving only this small amount of bike and buggy and small amount of man spam. These Shatterers seem to be doing just a devastating amount of damage to the man spam. That definitely seems to be the answer this time around, and playing with these Pitbulls, making them go in and out. There's a lot of really good micro going on by both players. I think it's a little bit higher over here by BartJones. BartJones seems to be ahead of some of these engagement, especially transitioning over to these Shatterers. That seems to have done a lot of work for him. And BartJones is not done. He is positioning to move into the natural expansion or potentially the old main base of Lamas. And I'm not sure Lamas has the forces right now to defend him. He has a lot of bikes, but he doesn't have an answer to the tanks, and he doesn't have an answer to the Shatterers. I guess he's going to use the bikes the best he can to get the Shatterers while the man spam moves in, but the man spam is relatively dead. And I think on top of that, BartJones is also building up to his secondary natural expansion bigger than Lamas is. And Lamas is going to lose a war factory on the front line. That is not going to be good for him whatsoever. It doesn't look like he has a hand of nod over here either. He did sell it off at some point. He does put another one down, and it is already at half HP being taken out. There is a laser turret here to help out in the defense, but I think it is too little, too late. Another refinery gets taken down, so there goes a refinery, there goes a war factory, there goes a hand of nod at some point. He's just losing infrastructure left and right. And this entire time, BartJones is just able to free harvest because Lamas is so focused on having to defend his base. It looks like they're going to transition over to possibly taking out some of the stuff over in the north, and there's a full Tiberium load of a harvester that is going to get taken out. That is not great for Lamas. Losing those resources left and right, losing the second refinery, losing almost another war factory is just going to be awful for him. Second harvester looks like it is just barely going to make it out. That is going to be a very good lifeline for Lamas. However, there is an absolute parking lot set up for the refinery over on this side of the map. Small amounts of rocket squads moving in to take out the laser turrets with no real response for Lamas. Lamas is probably frantically clicking around and doing everything he can just to stay on top of this map. War factory is at half HP and probably going to get taken out here in a second. That's once again not going to be great for Lamas. Lamas is just losing infrastructure left and right. Even though this fight is minor, Lamas is losing major when it comes to his infrastructure, when it comes to everything that he had on the map. He does finally have a secondary refinery over on the bottom side of the map. If I was him, I'd probably put a third refinery there. Shatterers here are going to be able to get another kill on almost a full Tiberian's worth of a Harvester over here, but this could be Lamas' final push. He still has a chance to turn this around. If he can push into the base and deal a lot of damage to the infrastructure of BartJones, he can possibly get something done, but I'm not sure he has the man spam to deal with that. There is a lot of APCs here, and they're going to be able to do just quite a large amount of damage. They do also appear to have AP ammo, so that's not going to be looking great for Lamas. They're just going to be able to shred that man spam just as quickly as they come out. We do get a set of Cabal Confessors moving into the southern part of the map, possibly looking to do some scouting. One Harvester does get caught out from BartJones, but he's able to save it just in time, and the Marv has moved onto the map as well. That's going to be the other advantage BartJones has on Lamas as of right now, is having that Reckoner on the field, having that tech on the field is just going to be able to do a lot. Man spam is going to get taken down rather unceremoniously over on that side of the map, over on the south side of the map, and there's not going to be too much. And the forces left here for Lamas, I think what he's got is what he's got. He's not going to be able to do too much with that. The Marv and the MCV are moving on his base, as well as he still doesn't have an answer to all of these APCs, to all of these tanks, because these APCs are just going to absolutely wreck this man spam over here. It's going to be relatively nothing to take out. Marv moving its way in, taking out a large number of Cabal Confessor squads, and I assume going to be moving into the base of Lamas here very shortly. His forces are looking extremely anemic. That one Shatterer just doing a crazy amount of damage in the north. He just cannot keep an operations center or any real tech up. His tech is also at low power as well. Base finally gets deployed for BartJones over here, and he's going to be able to set up a base to start pushing Lamas, and Lamas does see the writing on the wall. He does decide to call in the GG and give up that round. And an impressive display of tactics by BartJones. Commander, regroup and prepare for round 4. This is round 4, Commander, and the map is Tiki Turmoil. Our score moves to 1-2, with BartJones taking the lead. This match is brought to you by Time Traveling Toasters. Your toast ready before you are. Determined to claim the crown in the bottom left-hand corner, wearing the green robes and the nod gloves, the man who already has his toast, Lamas. Bringing his A game to the fight over in the top right-hand corner, wearing the yellow robe, sporting the GDI gloves, the battlefield virtuoso, BartJones. Both fighters ready. Begin. A classic matchup of Nod versus GDI, green versus yellow. Lamas versus BartJones. I have a feeling these fights are going to be neck and neck, Commander. Let's find out if I'm right. Skirmishing has begun all over the map with pillboxes, with buggies setting up. It looks like that is Lamas's opening move here. He's decided to grab his bike to get some scouting done, his bike to get rid of some of the infantry that he may run into over on this side of the map. Tiki Turmoil is sort of an interesting map where the Blue Tiberium is kind of at the end of both players' natural expansions. The goal moving this direction, but the natural expansion being open towards the original main base of each player. So it usually ends up with some of these weird engagements based over that Blue Tiberium, although it's pretty hard to go all the way around with that bubble over on that side of the field. Now, a lot of players also elect to grab the center point of the map. It's not a bad area to grab. It's sort of leading you into your opponent's base on both sides. Scouting has started for BartJones. BartJones has moved into the base of Lamas as of right now, just getting a little bit of scout. That's going to be good for him if Lamas was up to something sneaky, but that does not appear to be the case. We do not have anything weird as of yet. We do have 3 pitbulls out for BartJones, looking for something to snack on over on this natural expansion. That is a 4th pitbull, and it looks like scorpions are the answer. That is a good call to run those pitbulls out of your territory. Scorpions, of course, being a little bit faster than a lot of the other main tanks for the other factions. Not quite able to keep up with the pit bulls, but they do a good job of making an account for themselves in that fight. I believe if the macro is there enough, the pit bulls can outrange and sort of get some free shots off when they need to. Looks like Bike is going to get taken down over here, and that is unfortunate for Lamas. He's not going to be able to get any real scouting, and I don't believe he's set up any scouting whatsoever on BartJones. So if BartJones was up to something sneaky, he would not be able to see that. The other thing, though, too, is he's also not going to be able to prepare, really, for whatever BartJones is cooking up. He's not going to be able to transition quite as easy without having that scout as of right now. Looks like BartJones has elected to start with a long-distance harvesting of his blue Tiberium. Not a bad idea. He's not contested. He's not being scouted, so that's going to be great for him. These Pitbulls probably going to get cut off here, and that is really unfortunate for these Pitbulls. I'm not sure if they can get out in time. There goes one Pitbull, possibly a second Pitbull getting taken out. That is really unfortunate for BartJones. A third Pitbull getting taken out for free. That was good catching on Lamos's behalf, and unfortunately BartJones lost a good number of Pitbulls for nothing. That's not going to set him back too much, but it is going to be annoying. He's going to get rid of his scouting. Looks like Scorpion's moving into the center point of the map, going to start to pressure BartJones since they just took out a whole bunch of those harvesters, probably hoping that there isn't much to stop them, and that does appear to be the case. There are orcas here to begin the assault. EMP grenades are out here in order to start doing damage to these tanks, and they're unfortunately going to miss rather unceremoniously. The MCV does get taken down by those Scorpion tanks for Lamas. That is a good victory for Lamas. It doesn't matter if he loses all of those Scorpion tanks. BartJones has lost 3,500 just in that one engagement. That is really great considering Lamas wasn't able to get very much scouting off. And on top of that, he's now going to know that BartJones has at least one airfield and that he's going to have to transition into something to deal with those orcas. Mass Scorpions seem to be the answer. Mass Scorpions and Rocket Militants seem to be the answer to deal with that. I feel like now that MCV is taken out, maybe getting some bike and buggy may not be the worst call because you're going to be able to do a lot of harassment, and all the harassment that you can get off for free is going to be super great for him. Looks like the new MCV is out here for BartJones, and BartJones potentially being a little aggressive over here, heading over to his blue Tiberium, heading over to the last natural expansion of his opponent. He's decided that he has to do something rather drastic to make a comeback for that losing that 3,500 is going to make a pretty big difference. Air transport going to be taken down unceremoniously. That engineer is going to get taken out. That's going to be unfortunate for BartJones, and these forces are going to move into the natural expansion, sort of forcing out that construction yard, stopping BartJones, delaying him a little bit more. And oh no, BartJones is not paying attention. He's starting to lose harvesters to these Scorpions. Orcas are going to move in, but it was too little too late, at least for one of those harvesters. 5 Scorpions going to get taken down, but they did take out a harvester, delaying BartJones even more. This is looking really favorable for Lamas. He's able to take out that MCV. He is able to get those pit bulls for free. He's able to get a couple of harvesters, and he constantly keeps delaying the expansion of BartJones. I'm not sure if he knows the MCV is here just yet, but he is going to see it here in a minute. If he can get a second MCV, that is going to be absolutely massive. He might be able to get a Tiberium Spike, but he may be transitioning over to start this man spam into all of these APCs. I believe the APCs are going to be enough to take that down. There are Black Hand Squads, there are avatars here, there are bikes here to start this fight, so they can potentially do a good number of damage, but I'm not sure that this is the fight for Lamas. He's going to lose avatars relatively for free. That is going to be unfortunate for him. That is going to be his first setback for the match. Losing all of that man spam, losing that avatar, losing a couple of those bikes, that is going to hurt him. However, these bikes are going to find some purchase over on the right-hand side of the map, killing a pit bull, possibly killing a harvester that we missed, and engaging with these orcas, doing what damage they can, taking one orca down. That is not the worst idea for them. Bike's able to find at least some purchase. It does look like Lamas was able to set himself up over on his natural expansion while BartJones is still delayed. BartJones is still pushing towards the natural expansion of his opponent. He does have some juggernauts here ready to go. That is going to be a good answer to these avatars, and there's not a lot of forces here for Lamas to sort of really stop this because there are a lot of tanks. There is a base race moving in. There's a good number of grenade squads. So that's going to be good for BartJones. However, there are 2 obelisks out here, as well as 3 avatars. Those are definitely going to be able to make an account for themselves, and a small amount of militant rockets are going to be able to push out what is left of these orcas. Second juggernaut does come out. That is going to help BartJones to be able to push into this base. We also have a sonic emitter out as well. It looks like BartJones is all in right here. The only thing that's going to be really unfortunate is BartJones keeps losing units over here on the top right hand side. Lamas just absolutely on top of it with the micro and macro, taking out more and more of the economy of his opponent, while BartJones just continues to not be able to harvest. His economy is going to look rather anemic rather quickly here. A third juggernaut does join the forces over here, and that is going to be really unfortunate to deal with. MCV for the Nod faction for Lamas is going to get taken out, so that is going to delay right there. They're going to transition over to taking out the refinery of his opponent, but they were able to get a good number of resources beforehand in that expansion field, while BartJones is still not really getting much in the way of economy. Still looking up for Lamas as of right now, especially if he can find some sort of answer to deal with these juggernauts. These juggernauts just being a massive threat, and it looks like beam cannons are what he's going to go for. Maybe if he can get some venoms, he can start sniping down those juggernauts. That'll be good for him. He does have an airfield out here with a couple of bombers. The bombers might also be his answer to taking out these juggernauts. It does not look like there is any air defense against all of this as of right now, unless there are rocket squads, which there are not inside this APC. I believe this is going to be our final push here to see what these players can get away with. Juggernauts taking out another structure. These Juggernauts just so far completely uncontested, pushing the forces of Lamas, while Lamas spends his time building up his forces. He's going to have a small economic advantage, but the unfortunate side is that BartJones has completely taken over his natural expansion and continues to push Lamas. Another APC gonna get taken out relatively for free. These beam cannons are sort of worth their weight in gold as of right now, able to get kills from afar. Not quite the answer to the Juggernauts as of right now, but they are definitely going to be able to help. Pitbull gonna get taken down, and is still no answer to these Juggernauts as of right now. Lamas just continuing to back up his forces time and time again to try to bleed out the forces of BartJones over there. He has to deal with these Juggernauts. These Juggernauts are just going to absolutely wreck him. 2 bombers are going to move in. That could be the answer over here to take out 1 or 2 of these Juggernauts. And there it goes. There goes 2 Juggernauts. That is going to be massive for him. If he can survive this engagement, he's going to be able to do a lot of work. Another Juggernaut is getting targeted. Juggernaut does get taken down. That is the main punching power of BartJones over on this assault. All that is left right now is man spam, and the answer is here, these Shredder shirts. I'm not sure that BartJones is going to be able to recover from this. He's got to be hurting economy-wise, and these beam tanks are taking out his second MCV. 1 Juggernaut does get recovered by an engineer. That is going to be unfortunate for Lamas, but if he can take it out, another engineer gets deployed, grabbing another Juggernaut. Lamas just not able to stop these Juggernauts from doing their assault. Bomb's going to come out and take out 1 of the Juggernauts finally, but there is an engineer already here ready to take over another Juggernaut. These Juggernauts have seen massive reuse over and over, but the beam cannons are going to start taking them out. Juggernaut liking that, able to take out a good number of these beam cannons, and these forces are so anemic, and this can still go either way. I believe the favor is still in Lamas's favor as of right now. Bombers almost taking out that Juggernaut. Juggernaut just having absolutely nothing left, but they do take out the MCV of BartJones. That is going to be massive. That is 7,000 down the drain for losing both of those MCVs. The GG gets called, giving Lamas a round. A fantastic round, Commander. Time for a short intermission. Round 5 is coming right up. Welcome to round 5. We are on the map Threshold 19. The score has been tied up at 2-2, with Lamas taking a round. This encounter is sponsored by Anti-Gravity Board Games, defying the laws of fun. Stepping into the arena with unmatched confidence on the top left-hand corner, wearing the green robes and the nod gloves, the unyielding contender, Lamas. His opponent in the top right-hand corner, wearing the yellow robe, sporting the GDI gloves, the indomitable champion, BartJones. Both fighters ready? Begin! Threshold 19 is a map that has plenty of opportunities for engagement, as well as the resources to do so. There are 2 Tiberium spikes, I take that back, 3 Tiberium spikes per player, as well as a blue Tiberium field in the center and a large green Tiberium field in the south to fight over. Looks like we already have something sneaky going out as of right now. Lamas has deployed the shadow teams to try to get something sneaky off. He's able to get a large amount of scouting done. I do not believe he was able to get anything real big as of yet. If he did, I missed it, although I do not see a power plant, so they probably nicked a power plant and ran off. It's nice to see those early game strategies we don't normally get to see. Shadow teams going out to do something sneaky, so that's great. I'm all here for it. I don't believe we are transitioning into anything like flame tank rushes or anything crazy like that. It looks like so far it's just the 2 sets of shadow teams. Potentially moving in to grab something else, maybe grabbing a Tiberium spike over here. That would be good for them. I'm not sure if their bombs are off cooldown as of yet. There's another Tiberium spike that has been dealt damage to. APC and Pitbull are here to come out for the defense as well as the repair. That is not going to take out the Tiberium spike, but that is going to cost BartJones some money. Every little bit of these tiny hits adds up against these players that are both evenly matched and higher level in skill. Seems to be that Lamas is just slightly ahead of his opponent, slightly ahead of BartJones in the expansion, although he does not have a refinery down just quite yet. Tiberium Spike is seeming to heal up nicely. These shadow teams are being absolute pests and hitting the Tiberium Spikes every single time that they are able to, costing BartJones just all that much more money. Refinery does finally come out for BartJones, bringing him up about to the same place as his opponent, as Lamas over on this side of the map. Both players are gobbling up their eco as quickly as possible to prepare for the ongoing engagement. We haven't seen any moves per player just quite yet. I take it back, there is a secondary MCV coming out for BartJones, potentially going to grab one of those other nodes, maybe setting up somewhere in the center, maybe doing a push, who knows quite yet. Shadow team's getting pushed out by the Pitbulls. 1 unit does get taken down. That's nothing too big. They've already found a good amount of purchase in what they've been able to do. Making BartJones spend that little bit of extra cash is going to hurt him. Looks like we also have a command post out here for BartJones, and we have an opposing operations center on the opposite side of the map. I think it's a bit too late for any sort of Reckoner, Flame Tank Rush, or anything like that. I doubt we're going to see that, but we're probably going to see some early upgrades. MCV already getting targeted over here in the center of the map, completely surrounded by these Scorpion tanks. Also, the Scorpion tanks are getting taken out by some of the mines and everything that is popping over here. The body block does happen from the barracks as more and more Scorpion tanks move their way in. They begin to take out these APCs. 2 power plants get placed. It looks like BartJones is going for control over the center of the map. Let's see if he's able to get that. Zocom troopers are here. They're going to help push out these Scorpion tanks, sort of succeeding the center of the map to BartJones, at least for the time being. That means he's going to have access to this blue Tiberium and this green Tiberium, which will be useful to him later on in the game. He's probably going to try to do everything he can to make sure that he does not lose resources like he did the last time. Beam Cannon is out here. It looks like that seems to be one of the transitions he's going into to hit some of this larger stuff. That's not a bad idea against, if we're going to get a bunch of static defenses. We do have a refinery out here for the body block on the MCV, as well as a sonic emitter out as well. We've got some Black Hand squads doing substantial damage to the construction yard. More body blocks coming out for BartJones. BartJones is just absolutely on top of these body blocks, but that is going to be an MCV taken out. However, he does still have that one other one, and he was able to do a good amount of damage to the forces of to the forces of Lamas. Lamas losing more troops left and right, but he is inside his base and preparing. First Juggernaut is moving forward, probably going to take defense behind this refinery and start getting pot shots off. If they can get that war factory off the center of the map, that's going to be huge. Another sonic emitter has come out on the map, as well as a body block from a power plant. It looks like this is going to be a pure base rush. These Juggernauts are going to just start absolutely hammering the base of Lamas. It does not look like Lamas has the answer to this base rush as of right now. The support from these towers, the support from these Juggernauts is just a lot. However, the beam cannons are here to do a decent amount of damage to make an account for themselves, but Lamas is just losing troops left and right. These Juggernauts need to be dealt with. He had a difficult time dealing with just 3 Juggernauts that last time around, and there are another 3 here set up. Black Hand squads are moving in. That may not be a bad answer to that. Those Juggernauts have a harder time killing the units, but if a Harvester runs them over, then it does not matter. BartJones using that stranded Harvester to his advantage, taking out a bunch of those Black Hand squads, doing a good amount of damage for themselves. Hananod finally getting targeted down by the Juggernauts in the north and in the south. There are 4 Juggernauts here to go. Black Hand squads seem to be the answer. That seemed to be what the Juggernauts are afraid of. Black Hand squads are moving forward to try to get everything that they can. There goes another operations center. Lamas is just losing bit of infrastructure after bit of infrastructure. We do have a rank up of one of the Juggernauts. It'll be really unfortunate if that is able to get away. It looks like it's probably going to get taken out by these Black Hand squads. That'll be useful for him. They're going to lose that that rank, which will be super helpful later on. Hopefully they can destroy the corpse as well, but these APCs I think are just going to be too powerful to deal with. It looks like Lamas is starting to stall a little bit, possibly on the eco. He doesn't have anything still. I take it back. There are the beam cannons to deal with the Juggernauts. There are the beam cannons to deal with the APCs, but they went down just as quickly as they have spawned. Lamas is completely long distance harvesting on his side of the expansion. These Juggernauts so far just do not have an answer as of right now. 1 beam cannon and 1 bike are gonna be hard to take out the forces that are here, as well as this ranked up Juggernaut here in the background with the rest of his friends. If he can get some air units, that could be potentially be the answer, but his resources are just so scarce. He's going for infantry to try to deal with the Juggernauts the best they can, but it looks like we get reinforcements over here by BartJones landing on the center part of the map, on this center part of the battlefield, and man spam is being spammed over here. That is going to be a good call against these Juggernauts. Juggernauts have a much harder time dealing with that, and it looks like the Juggernauts are finally going to get taken down after Lamas has lost so much of his base. That is 3 Juggernauts down. The corpses are probably either going to be taken or destroyed here in a little bit. If Lamas can take those corpses, that would be super great for him. That would give him Juggernauts. That would give him later game units right off the bat. Orca's moving in, possibly to Orca strike the corpses of these Juggernauts. They do get one of them out, but that is it. That gives Lamas still more time to take that out. Man spam is moving forward. That does seem to be the answer. He is making a lot of gains with that. The long distance harvesting is continuing, but it's not the worst for him. BartJones has started with the harvesting of the blue Tiberium in the northern part of the map. Units are starting to go for a free harvester. That is going to be good. They need to start whittling down. Multiple APCs by BartJones are out here. That is going to be his answer to the man spam. That'll probably be enough because BartJones was not, or sorry, Lamas was just not able to deal with those Juggernauts until he got plenty of man spam out on the map. It does look like the tables have turned just a little bit. These units have been able to take the center of the map, freeing up that blue Tiberium for Lamas, freeing up more resources for Lamas, especially if he can control this sector of the map. I believe where is the other MCV? Okay, so yeah, there is the original MCV over on that side of the map, as well as a staggering amount of APCs and forces over here. The bike is floating around to try to see what kills it can get, and they do appear to get an Orca. I'm not sure if that was a sell-off of... Yeah, that was a sell-off of the air factory over there. Command post getting targeted down by the man spam. The assault has begun over on BartJones. BartJones has went from aggressor to defender. Now he has to kill this large amount of man spam. Is the APC, are the APCs going to be able to do it? I do not think so. This is a lot to deal with. This is not looking great for BartJones. BartJones was doing particularly well early on, but the tables have almost completely turned, especially now that there is a Juggernaut on the side of Lamas, a donated Juggernaut. Bikes are going to get taken out sort of unceremoniously by those grenade squads. That's going to be unfortunate for them. More Harvesters getting targeting down. BartJones is starting to lose more and more infrastructure left and right. APCs going after the Juggernaut over here. The mine drop does get deployed, taking a large amount of damage, putting a large amount of damage on that Juggernaut. It looks like BartJones wants nothing to do with that Juggernaut. That is not a bad call. More militant squads are going to try to the best they can to sandwich these APCs, and it looks like they are going to do a good amount of damage and take out almost all of them. Correction, taking out all of them. The forces for BartJones have went from very large to extremely minor. He's switching into some Predator tanks to go after this Juggernaut in the north. That is going to be the call for that. He is going to be able to get that down, but they're probably going to lose that with what the units are there. Man spam and this whole one Juggernaut are going to start moving into the base of BartJones. BartJones is putting down barracks after barracks and losing them left and right. He's also beginning to lose Harvester after Harvester. And he's not able to continue these assaults onto... he's not able to continue these assaults onto Lamas. Lamas is just absolutely on top of it with the aggression. Juggernaut in the north does finally get taken out. Juggernaut in the south is still here to deal damage to the refineries as quickly as it can. One APC moving in to finally try to take out the Juggernaut. I don't think it's going to be enough to deal with that. The rocket squads are going to be able to defend it. I would say that Lamas really needs to try the best he can to move into the center of the map. He's going to run out of resources soon. He does have a lot here, long distance harvesting, and he does have 3 refineries over on that side of the map, so maybe he's doing a bit better than BartJones, who seems to have lost a good number of harvesters. However, BartJones doesn't have to travel, even though he did lose his center, his first natural expansion, and he gets pushed into this corner more and more. Looks like the refinery does get finally get taken out. The Juggernaut is picking off what is left of the watchtower, so the man spam can move forward. Man spam doing the scouting. Bikes in the north are going to go after this hammerhead, take it out rather unceremoniously, and they're going to start poking around looking for what they can. There's another sell-off of another building in the northern section of BartJones' map, and BartJones is just not in a good spot. He doesn't have much left. He does see the writing on the walls. He does decide to call in the GG. Lamas' man spam and counter tactics were just too much to deal with. Lamas just looking absolutely on top of it in round 5. That was a great round, Commanders. Time for a quick pit stop to round 6. Here we are in round 6 on the map 6 City. Lamas took another round, moving our score to 3-2. This bout is brought to you by Tactical Teabags, steeped in strategy, brewed in victory. Driven by the thirst for victory on the bottom right-hand corner, wearing the green robes and the nod gloves, the fearsome competitor, Lamas. Here to leave his mark on the game in the top left-hand corner, wearing the yellow robe, sporting the GDI gloves, the one and only BartJones. Both fighters ready. Begin. Lamas and Bart seem to be adjusting to one another quite nicely. Words are hard. Our last round showed that Lamas had an answer to the juggernauts of Bart in the form of Nod Man Spam. It will be nice to see how BartJones mixes up this time around. So far, both players have opted to take buildings inside the city and begin some early skirmishing, just trying to get some view on, it looks like, the center of the map. Not a bad plan. This is a map where scouting is going to be important, because if your opponent is going to do something sneaky, they are going to be able to do it fast. The Tiberium fields here are quite large, but there's only 2 per player. So cutting that player off would be super advantageous if they can get it out. I believe the only person to get a scout off as of right now, I take it back, there's the pillbox. Both players have actually scouted each other nicely. Lamas has used a buggy, I keep calling these bikes, has used a buggy to get his scout off, and the GDI faction, BartJones, has used his pillboxes. Looks like first set of pit bulls are moving their way in. They're not going to be able to get too much. They're just going to take some small damage on that hand nod. They were potentially looking for this construction yard while it was undeployed, but they did not catch it quite in time. It looks like both players have transitioned nicely into their natural expansions, also rather quickly as well. Last item of note is that there is blue Tiberium to the sides of each player's main base. Skirmishing continuing on in the center. These troops are just sort of throwing peanuts at each other. They're not going to be able to do much other than be super annoying. Scout is still here for BartJones. That pillbox is finally getting taken out, so that scout will no longer be effective for BartJones. The fog of war will remain undetected for a little bit longer, but after that, it looks like Lamas is in the clear. Pit bulls are beginning to gather on the left side of the map. It looks like we have 5, so we've got a large number of volleys that can move forward, and it looks like Lamas is the aggressor this time around, moving some forces in early on. Low power mode does happen for the refinery, but it's not going to be too much, as Lamas sort of scouts around the map looking for what he can see with his Scorpion tanks and with his buggy. Looks like there is 1 Tiberium spike, possibly 2 per player. Yeah, that is the case. There are 2 Tiberium spikes per player. These smaller maps are extremely important with both their resources and every single unit you lose. If you watch Master Leaf or if you watch Bike Rush Owns in their cast, they'll talk about how these smaller maps are rather intensive when it comes to losing units, because they count for so much more in this, especially with lower economy. I believe this field, though, is quite substantial for both players. I don't want to say it's twice as big as a normal field, but it's getting up there. It's quite significant in number of resources. We're also going to see engagements rather quickly with how tiny that this map is. Both players are going to be sharking around each other, and with the center of the map being laid out the way it is easy to get units cut off from each other, which could be potentially catastrophic. Speaking of getting cut off, 1 Scorpion tank does get cut off, but the reverse move does happen quickly. Orcas are here to also support the attack, to support the defense of BartJones. It looks like these Scorpion tanks are going to be taken out rather quickly. I'm not sure they're finding really any purchase. They did get a pit bull, but they are losing units left and right. They don't have an answer as of yet to these Orcas. There's nothing they can do with these Orcas, and the pit bulls can probably get some harassment to take out what's left of the Scorpion tanks, but the Scorpion tanks do have the range to continue the harassment, to push off those pit bulls. Does look like we are finally chewing up the first main base, or the main base per player. Orca's sitting here poised to get their assault off. First Orca strike does move in and almost gets that harvester, but Lamas, seen it just in time, has the micro and the macro to avoid it. 1 harvester does get targeted and taken down, possibly 2. I think we missed that other one right there. Another harvester getting taken down. That's 2 to 3 harvesters being taken down for Lamas on this map. That is not going to be great for him. Getting up those resources is going to be super, super important. Grenade squads are going to start taking out a good chunk of this man over here. They're able to get rocket squad after rocket squad after rocket squad. They have already been worth their weight in gold. Bikes are going to move forward, but they're not going to be able to do too much against these grenade squads. These grenade squads so far are relatively unstoppable, just taking out militant squad after militant squad. These rockets are just dying left and right. One did rank up before he dies. Another one gets a rank up. Laser tower does finally end up taking out what's left of these grenade squads, but these grenade squads were definitely worth their weight in gold. They were able to get so many units of Lamas. Not sure why there's a harvester all the way over here. Not sure if it was just a weird misclick or maybe he was going for blue Tiberium. I'm not quite sure yet. Those rocket squads have been taken out, which means that the juggernauts are going to be uncontested as of right now. Speaking of uncontested, it doesn't look like there is any air defense as of right now for Lamas. He does have the bikes, but that is really about it. He's going to have a hard time dealing with both all of these units, the juggernauts and the air. He just seems a little outnumbered. First refinery is probably going to go down here soon. There it goes. Those juggernauts just absolutely outranging and doing all the damage they can, while the tanks are going to soak up as much damage as they can as well. Zone troopers are in the back, ready to hop forward, ready to move forward and take some stuff out, but they're probably waiting for the juggernauts to take out more of these shredder turrets, and that does seem to be the plan. It looks like we're having a little bit of an all-in. The base rush has begun from BartJones, moving on to the expansion of Lamas over here. Lamas, like I said, down that one refinery. He does have his T3. He does have a couple of avatars. He is able to take out, it looks like, 3 juggernauts, but is that going to be enough to fight this mana tank, to fight these zone troopers? It'll remain to be seen. 2 barracks getting taken out by these Black Hand squads. Lamas faring significantly better than I thought he would. I thought he was in a rather precarious spot, but he is able to take out juggernauts left and right using his bombers. Sniper squads are here. I'm not sure what they are going to be able to snipe. I guess their plan is to go for these Black Hand squads. That does seem to be the answer, and so many Black Hand squads are just targeting down this construction yard. I'm not sure BartJones can stop that. If he loses another MCV to Lamas in another round, that is going to be absolutely substantial. There goes the 3,500, but the the Mammoth tanks are here to stay. The railguns are out. The upgrades are here. The bombers are moving in to take out another Mammoth tank, and Lamas is making an amazing account for himself. I thought he was looking to be in particular parts of danger, but he seems to be doing rather well. However, the forces are moving onto his main base, possibly positioning to get what they can. Now, this is still a lot of GDI armor, a lot of GDI forces here to deal with. I think it might be too little too late. It does sound like we are getting a orbital cannon here by GDI. The one click coming out, hitting the main base, or hitting the new main base of Lamas. There is the GG. Bart taking up a score, taking up the round to 3-3. This is truly a neck and neck fight, Commander. The clash continues into round 7. I will see you there. The heat is on, Commanders. Our next map is Dried Straits. It's round 7 and the score stands at 3-3. Today's clash is brought to you by Viking Vacations, pillaging your boredom one trip at a time. Prepared and poised in the top right-hand corner, wearing the green robes and the nod gloves, the dynamic commander, Lamas. Unyielding and unstoppable in his approach in the bottom left-hand corner, wearing the yellow robes, sporting the GDI gloves, the relentless tactician, BartJones. Both fighters ready? Begin! This map can lead to large and frequent engagements because of the copious amounts of Tiberium and the locations to cut your opponent off. We have seen in the past that BartJones really likes to push Lamas with his MCV and his base push. Let's see how things plan out this time around. So far, just like the previous games, we don't have anything sneaky. No flame tanks, no reckoners, nothing crazy quite like that. No Black Hand squads to do anything sneaky. Both players have started off with their scouting. I believe in the background what we missed was Lamas' scout getting murdered in the center of the map. There is BartJones right there setting up a pillbox and moving into the base of Lamas right now to see if he's got anything sneaky and to just get a general idea of what he's going to do. He is setting himself up on the ramp. He is setting himself up by the power plant in order to start getting an annoying amount of damage, and that is indeed his cause. It does look like BartJones over here has started his expansion just slightly before Lamas, but that may not matter too much in the grand scheme of things. It looks like the power plant is already at half HP because of these pillboxes, but the bike and buggy are here to take it out, as well as the second pillbox here in a minute. Once again, these small little tactics are going to be are going to cost Lamas some money early on, but nothing real significant. He's just going to have to repair a turret, but the primary purpose was to have a scout sitting there and ready to go. First set of pit bulls are out for BartJones. He's going pit bulls into bike and buggy, relatively standard just as well. Looks like the buggies are moving to take out the pillbox inside the center of the map so they can see it. There it goes. Pillbox is down. Scouting is down. Bikes are moving forward to start picking on what they can, but they are in a bad position here to fight these pit bulls. One bike is going to get taken out, possibly a second one, but it does make it just by the skin of its teeth. Lamas is beginning to regroup as of right now, but I'm not sure what he can get done as of right now. He does have a good number of bike and buggy, but there are also predator tanks and pit bulls for him to deal with. BartJones pretty fierce in his defense as of right now. It looks like Lamas is going to try his luck more in the south, but he does not know that there are several pit bulls here raring to go to fight him in this engagement. Bikes are moving forward to soak up the most amount of damage that they can, but pit bulls are going to take out two bikes almost for free. I take it back. There goes one pit bull. It looks like a small amount of damage was dealt to the power plant, but that's not going to matter right now. The sharking is continuing. Both players are sort of snaking around each other. I don't believe we do have an operations center, and he did start with two vehicle centers, two war factories right off the bat, so that is why he has this large number of bike and buggy. He may be prepping to get ready to do something sneaky as of right now. Looks like we have potentially a TIB core missile or something ready to go. I'm unsure of what that upgrade is off the top of my head. Sharking continuing over on the northern side of the map, but if Lamas is not careful, he is going to get picked off. But I'm pretty sure the primary goal of all of this is just to start testing BartJones and to keep BartJones on the defensive. Lamas has done a good job of sort of controlling the center. He hasn't been able to capitalize controlling the center, as in taking blue Tiberium or anything like that as of right now, and the forces of BartJones are out here in mass. There's looks like a small amount of reinforcements for those troops right there, so that is good for them. First engagement is going to finally begin. We're going to get bike and buggy versus the small amount of man and the whole bunch of vehicles over on this side of the map. APCs, pit bulls, everything like that are going to start your fight, and it looks like Lamas is going to come out on top unless BartJones gets some reinforcements. Those tanks are going to be a little bit harder to deal with. Lamas comes out just a little bit on top, but BartJones is already here, ready to move into the main base of Lamas. Looks like that was an engagement. There's an avatar here set up for the defense, and he's probably going to lose one power plant. Nothing really that big as of right now, and that avatar is going to be able to do a good amount. Having those avatars are definitely going to push back that assault. Lamas is going to try to do a pincer maneuver right here with his bike and buggy and hopefully some of his avatars, but the avatars are just a little bit too slow to keep up with this engagement. Both Bart and Lamas are positioning and sharking around each other, looking for the best engagement for their troops as of right now. Lesser players would have already been caught out, and so far that has not happened really to either player. These pincer maneuvers by both players have gone really, really well. I believe force-wise, if he can't support his avatars over here, I believe BartJones is in the lead force-wise, but these avatars are going to be able to soak up a lot of damage and do a lot of stuff, and here comes the reinforcements as of right now. It looks like we have an obelisk on the front line to deal with that. Lamas is looking in top form. He did lose for avatars. That is going to be extremely unfortunate for him. Those husks, losing those units are going to be hard. It looks like BartJones is in the lead as of right now. Obelisk did get taken down over in the south, so they're not going to be able to defend with that as of right now. This man spam right here just seems to be doing a, well, I won't really call it man spam. This number of infantry here are going to be able to do a good amount of damage to those husks, denying them from Lamas, so there's no way he can recover those troops. Bikes are going to, or buggies are going to move in order to take out the infantry. That is going to happen there. It does look like we have a couple of bikes left, and I believe we have TID core missiles ready to go. I am unsure as of yet. Yeah, Tiberian core missiles, that's going to be helpful later on. BartJones has turned into the aggressor for this part. It started off with Lamas doing some minor picking here and there, and now it's turned over to BartJones's side. TID core missile bikes are going to try to get a harvester or two. I believe they got one while we were gone and almost took out another one, but they're going to get taken out just as fast. I believe BartJones is also, yeah, BartJones is way more established on his secondary natural expansion than Lamas. Lamas has spent a lot of resources on avatars and unfortunately losing them over in the engagement of his base defense. It does look like the bike and buggy is finally going to get picked off here. I'm not sure if the goal was to scout or what, but he is going to lose a large number of that bike and buggy force. I'm curious if he's going to try to transition into something else, but he does seem to continuously build this bike and buggy setup. I'm not sure he's finding the purchase for that, but maybe his goal is to do some sort of hammer and anvil, which he has tried multiple times against BartJones, but BartJones has been able to position his way out of it and troop his way out of it, as in he's been able to have the right composition to deal with what was coming his way. It does look like BartJones has started long distance harvesting his opponent's final natural expansion, and it looks like BartJones has also decided to grab the blue Tiberium in the center. He's utilizing everything that he can in order to win this fight, everything that he can in order to get an advantage on his opponents. Skirmishing is beginning in the center of the map. It does look like we have laser capacitors and EMP coils for the buggies, so that is going to be the mainstay for Lamas here. He's going to try his luck with these EMPs. He's going to try his luck with possibly some bikes. I think he's transitioned completely out of bikes. I haven't seen any so far. So far, it's entirely buggies and avatars are his forces. BartJones is going to continue testing the defenses of Lamas. He's moving several Predator tanks, he's moving several troops and a Mammoth tank this direction into the main base, and I'm not sure Lamas has a response as of yet. The main force is down here in the south, and Lamas has begun his engagement against the forces here, but while he's doing that, BartJones has started a fight over on the main base of Lamas. Lamas doing a very good job of pushing back all of these forces. This is a lot of grenade squads, and it looks like the buggies are going to be able to do a significant amount of damage to those grenades. That's going to be super great. That's going to protect those avatars, and he's able to move up to his third natural expansion, securing his resources. He did lose a lot of bikes, but it was worth it to get his resources up and going and to get himself established. Operations Center is going to get taken out in the first natural expansion for Lamas over here. That is going to be really unfortunate. This Mammoth tank sort of worth its weight in gold, able to get a avatar, able to get a couple of other kills, but the man spam, it looks like we had a fire cell when I missed it. The man spam is coming forward to start dealing with these tanks. Flame tanks are going to be able to do a good amount, but not enough, I believe, to stop this amount of tanks over on this side of the map. And it looks like Lamas is returning the favor by attacking the old main base of BartJones over here. He's going to lose a significant amount of forces, and unfortunately he's going to get pincered here by the zone troopers. I'm not sure if the avatars can win this fight. They needed those bikes to take out the zone troopers, and they're probably going to get taken out here in a minute. This is also a large number of APCs to fight this. This Mammoth tank just worth its weight in gold, taking out infrastructure, taking out resources left and right, doing everything it can, and making Lamas' forces rather anemic. Lamas has decided that he has lost this round and has thrown in the towel. Grab yourself some refreshment, commanders. This is only going to heat up. Command Commanders, the moment has arrived on the battlefield at Atacama Road. The score is 3-4 in BartJones' favor. This explosive encounter is sponsored by Jousting Jammies, for the knight who really likes to stay comfortable. Entering the battlefield with sheer tenacity in the bottom right, wearing the green robes and the nod gloves, the tactical phenomenon, Lamas. Prepare to rewrite the rules of engagement in the top left-hand corner, wearing the yellow robe, sporting the GI gloves, the unforgiving opponent, BartJones. Both fighters ready. This series truly is neck and neck, with both players taking a point after point. Lamas did falter a little bit in the last round with his transition, but he has shown that he can adapt to BartJones' shenanigans. Let's see what their plans are this time around. The first buggy is out to deal with the scouts of BartJones. Lamas being very good with getting at least one of those buggies going before anything else, helping with the scouting, helping with the killing of the scouting of BartJones. Almost taking out the second set of scouts over here, but not quite in time. BartJones was able to get a foxhole set up on the center of the map, looking at that blue Tiberium. Lamas does decide better to go over to other parts of the map to see if potentially the GDI players, see if potentially BartJones is up to something sneaky. That does not appear to be the case. It seems relatively standard. Item of note, though, to grab is there are two basically safety Tiberium spikes per player on their sides of the map. No real chance of the Tiberium spike engineer getting scouted or anything crazy like that. We're also not seeing any silliness like shadow teams from Lamas this time around. Not as typically, in my opinion, the sneakier faction. They can force out those flame tank rushes. They can get those shadow teams super early on and deal some damage. Not that GDI can't do some of the sneaky stuff, but in my opinion, it's usually more of the silly stuff. Like Master Leaf kind of coined the flying MRT, which is still hands down my favorite thing in this game. It's just absolutely ridiculous to see, and I'm always excited to see it again. Just like Lamas opted to grab a scouting location over on the tip spikes of BartJones. He's not going to be able to see much that way, but if he is planning to take out those Tiberium spikes, then he will be able to see stuff coming. BartJones is also prepared in the center to nab up all of that blue Tiberium and to stop his opponent from getting it. Bikes are continuing with the scouting into the bases of BartJones, being chased by pitbulls, but it doesn't really matter too much if the unit dies. He just wants to see what's going on. Mind drop does get called out, forcing the buggy to go around and ultimately get knocked out. So if there was something going on in the main base, he would not be able to see it. It has been a little bit since both players has truly got a full scout on one another. Lamas being the first one to really get one, or the most recent one to really get a okay scout. Doesn't look like we have two war factories from the GDI player. Instead, he looks like he's opting for barracks. He has found good purchase in his infantry in the previous matches, so he's probably thinking about that as well. First engagement has started in the center of the map. APCs versus two Scorpion tanks, but there is a Predator tank here to help out. Mind drop does get deployed, but it doesn't look like the Scorpions are going to take the bait in the center. The control of the center has switched from BartJones over to Lamas. However, there is a set of reinforcements immediately here and ready to go. Got a series of men here out to get the Scorpions, sort of to bait them a little bit into this set of mines, and it does work. Rocket Squad's finally putting the final nail in the coffin for those two Scorpion tanks. It does look like the Nod faction is going a little bit more man this time around. GDI player potentially expecting that with his APCs raring to go. Doesn't appear to be anything in the APCs just as of yet. They're just going for pure bodies on the ground. BartJones doing a very good job at sort of cornering his opponent. He's got everything, he's got stuff on every side of the map, which will allow him to do a lot of sneaky stuff. However, the big negative of that will be his forces getting caught up. Like, he's lost that APC for free, and if he's not careful, he might lose a couple of units. Losing those rockets wouldn't be particularly great. APC's going for the Tiberium Spike of their opponent, going for Lamas' Tiberium Spike. They can take it out rather handily if these guys don't do anything about it, and that would be basically a free kill. It doesn't look like Lamas is going to respond to that, and he's going to lose a Tiberium Spike almost for free. Tip Spike does finally get taken out. That is pretty good for BartJones. BartJones may continue on to the next Tiberium Spike. That would be my strategy. First set of orcas moving in to hit the base of Lamas, but they hit nothing. A little bit of wasted resources, unless his entire goal was just to get some scouting. ABC's finally getting pushed out over here, finally getting cornered. That will be some decent free kills as of right now, and it does look like we actually have an outpost set up by BartJones onto his natural expansion. You don't see that too often. So if the outpost does happen, summing him that 750 resources, that is going to be helpful, but the man is here to start taking out these APCs. I believe the APCs come out on top here, but we will have to watch and see what happens. Does look like the rockets are getting killed relatively quickly. They do take another APC just before they go down, but they do get taken out. Avatars are here for Lamas. Lamas' primary set of units are set up on the other side of the map, taking a little bit of Tiberium Spike revenge for himself. Looks like the goal is a bunch of black hands supported by rockets and a single avatar. That does leave him a little bit open. He does have a couple avatars over on this side of the map, and he is deciding to attack both fronts at once. Looks like he's not looking for a main engagement, but just possibly to tie up the forces of his opponent over here in the north to keep them preoccupied in this old main base while he moves into the natural expansion, hopefully getting some of these harvesters. Getting these harvesters for Lamas would be super great. It will delay the resources of his opponent. It does look like they do get one harvester, possibly a second one here. 2 harvesters go down, 3 harvesters go down. That is really great, especially if he can get out almost for free. The zone troopers are here. They don't really seem to have an answer as of yet. I take it back. I guess there are a couple of confessors mixed in with the rocket squads. I didn't realize that before. Watchtower is going to probably take out the little bit of the man spam, but that's not going to be too big of a deal for Lamas. He was able to save his 3 avatars and get those out in time, sort of sacrificing the infantry in order to do that. And this does seem to be working a lot better than the last time around, supporting his avatars with man spam instead of rockets and, or sorry, I keep wanting to say rocket artillery, instead of supporting it with bike and buggy. There is going to be a problem over on Lamas' right flank with these mammoth tanks, with these APCs moving in. He does have a lot of avatars. APCs are getting taken down, and it does look like Lamas is successful in his engagement over in the north. The only thing that's really left here is a couple of mammoth tanks, which are able to reverse move out and repair just in time. The forces on the right hand flank are also going to be able to get some purchase, move their way further in here. I do believe they will get outnumbered here relatively quickly, but these avatars do seem to be putting in a lot of work. The old main base of Lamas, or of BartJones, is definitely under threat. These black hand squads doing a large amount of damage to the infrastructure, and there it is. There is the GG. Lamas was able to turn it around with his transition of man spam and avatars, attacking 2 fronts at the same time. Just a little too much for BartJones to handle, so he does decide to throw in the towel. Commanders, what a show! Don't go far. Round 9 is just ahead. The heat is maintained in round 9, Commander, on the map Extraction Plateau. Our score is tied up for the 4th time at 4-4. This clash is brought to you by Nightly Nightlights, keeping your castle safe from dragons and stabbed toes. ready to unleash his strategic brilliance on the bottom left-hand corner, wearing the green robes and the nod gloves, the unwavering challenger, Lamas. For the moment, his opponent in the top right-hand corner, wearing the yellow robe, sporting the GDI gloves, the relentless force, BartJones. Both fighters ready. Begin. The adaptation of each player is remarkable, each testing and finding a way through to victory. What will BartJones do versus the man and avatar of Lamas? Let's find out. It looks like Lamas has decided his scouting is 2 militant squads into GDI. That's not a bad strategy for him, and it looks like the GDI's faction response is 1 to 3 or 2 to 3 squads per area. Possibly getting ready to set up pillboxes. There is a pillbox on the natural expansion of Lamas ready to go, and I'm assuming another pillbox just here in the moments for BartJones over in Lamas' base. Does look like Lamas has mixed it up a little bit, going for that power plant. Hopefully he transitions in time to take out this rifleman squad. If he does, he will be able to continue his assault on the power plant. Pitbulls are here, but they're going to be able to do little to the forces of Lamas inside the base. That power plant is at least going to get taken down to half HP. Everyone has started moving into their first natural expansion for this round. Nothing crazy as of yet. Still nothing sneaky from the Nod faction, but it does look like BartJones has been rather on top of his scouting, making sure none of that sneakiness happens. I would say that the scouting is a little bit better on the BartJones' side, but Lamas sort of is in here doing the best he can to get this scouting off, and he's finally forced BartJones to continue to repair that power plant. Those small amounts of resources will make a difference if the game goes particularly long, but this is a smaller map, so it could go pretty quick here. BartJones finally decided to put in a watchtower, getting rid of the annoyance over there on that side of the map, and I'm assuming, selling off and getting another set of riflemen so he can get some scouts going back into the base of Lamas over here. Pitbull sort of getting caught in a not real great spot, but the only thing they have to worry about other than these now deployed rocket squads were a couple of militants, not enough to really do anything. One does get taken down to about half HP, but it's nothing to really warrant anything. He can get that repaired relatively quickly. Operations Center has been dropped for the GDI faction. It looks like he's opting to stick with just the one war factory as of right now. His opponent has also only picked the one war factory. He didn't have a 2 war factory open like he did 2 games ago. The Nod player, that is. Barracks are out as well. It looks like we're going from barracks to armory, so he's going to focus a little bit more on man. Maybe that's his answer. He's going to use the GDI manpower versus the Nod manpower, possibly with one of these upgrades, maybe with some composite armor, or even EMP grenades are also really great. There are the reinforcements there for the GDI faction. He's definitely preparing for the man spam of Nod, which is definitely here. We do have Scorpion tanks this time around. Instead of going immediately into avatars, I can't remember if there were Scorpion tanks previously in the other game, but I'm not sure it matters too much. I don't think he's going to rely heavily on these Scorpions, though. I think that he's just going to try to poke and get what he can with these bikes, with these Scorpions, and just try to be a harassment. If he can get that power plant for free, that would be nice. He could also spend his time taking out that Tiberium spike, which is sort of what I would do if I had more scouts on the map, but it's easy to say that from the comfy armchair of a caster opposed to someone actively in the game. That, and I don't have any Fog of War, so that's also easy to see. Black Hand squads are moving to take out the pests, militants, or not militants, the rifleman squads of BartJones over here. Units are running past each other as of right now. Scorpions have finally decided to move in. They're going to see that this armory is complete, that there is a secondary war factory, and that there is a tech center. He's also going to get a missile down, a one-click down on one of the refineries. That's going to be good for him. It looks like he is going to be able to lose most of his forces. He lost the Scorpion tanks there, but I think their entire purpose was just to get that scout, just to get that TID core missile out and ready to go. Siberian chemical plant here, as well as operations center, and the man spam is continuing for the Nod faction. Forces of BartJones are looking a little anemic, but they are split up between these pit bulls and what looks to be his main force going as of right now. Looks like long distance harvesting has started for the Nod faction as well. Maybe he's using those as scouts to see what's coming. That way he can set up his next natural expansion. Both players moving there just about the same time, and this staggering amount of man spam. And there are the avatars, so man spam and avatars are definitely the strategy this time as well. So it'll be interesting to see how BartJones transitions into that. MCV does get some early shots off by the bikes. Lamas mixing it up a little bit, not just going pure one unit. He was using Scorpions to get some kills on the turrets, and now he's using these rocket bikes to start picking on the MCV of his opponent, taking it down already to half HP. The main set of forces are moving into the final natural expansion of Lamas, pushing out the forces of BartJones, taking out these Manatee, taking out the forces, and doing a really good job of just being an absolute pest. That MCV is almost dead. It's almost taken out. Even though he hasn't lost that amount of damage is going to bite him in the butt. I don't believe he has any forces to pay that up. I say it up, and there is a bomber potentially going to knock out the MCV. This could be detrimental for his opponent. There it is. There is the one click taking out the MCV and taking the refinery to half HP. This is not looking good for BartJones. He is in a particularly nasty spot. He can rebuild his MCV, but that's going to be another 3,500 out of his pocket while Lamas continues to position onto the natural expansion of BartJones. I would say the man spam is not here enough to sort of stop this. There's a lot of APCs. We do finally have some black hands moving to reinforce. It's going to be very critical for Lamas that he fights BartJones' force with his full force. A couple of rocket squads are probably going to get caught out here, but they're going to do a little bit of damage before they get taken out. The auto-pathing was just a little garbage on that case, but he only lost 2 rocket squads, so that's not particularly horrible. But he does need to position a little bit better, Lamas that being a little bit better to deal with the forces of BartJones, which are starting to shark and look for a defense and possibly looking for a critical engagement. The refinery has not been taken out over on the natural expansion of BartJones. That's going to be good, but he's still going to be down 3,500 if he's even going to opt to repair or to rebuild his MCV. That doesn't appear to be the case as of right now. The engagement has started over on the northern side of the map. A couple of APCs, couple of Predator tanks getting taken out. A large number of APCs are left, and I believe one more Mammoth tank can get taken out. The mine drop does happen, and it looks like the mine drop is actually from the Nod faction. I thought it was from his opponent, from BartJones. But no, those mines didn't affect him at all. Black hand squads are starting to pester the Mammoth tanks, and this is not looking good once again for Lamas. Is Lamas going to be able to take another win here, finally gaining the lead on BartJones? That power plant finally getting taken out, finally being destroyed, and there is the beam cannon, there is the strike from the GDI faction, only taking out a couple of militant squads. That's an expensive blow, but it does buy him time to build more troops and reposition while he gets more Mammoth tanks and other units out here on the field. I believe one Mammoth tank was forgotten, unless it's purely there for defense. There it is. He is finally starting to regroup, but this is going to be a lot of avatars and a lot of man spam to fight against. So far, it's looking heavily in Lamas' favor, but it is not over yet. That fat lady has not sung. We do have bombers moving in to probably go after this refinery here. Not a bad strategy. Cut the resources off from BartJones. And there it goes. There are 4 harvesters taken out by 2 bombers. That is absolutely detrimental for BartJones. He just lost a massive amount of harvesting power for him. That is not going to be real great for him. Second set of bombers are already moving in to take out the other harvester, but it just quite was not enough to finish the job. Final engagement looks to be starting. At least the dance has begun with the man spam and the 1-clicks and all of these avatars. Will the avatars be able to take out the crazy mammoth tanks? That does appear to be the case. There is plenty of support. There's plenty of EMPs to lock them down, and this is not looking great for BartJones. I'm not sure there's much else he can do, and he, seeing the same thing, is going to decide to throw in the towel, is going to decide to call the GG. Moving on to the next round. Gain Lamas a lead of 5-4. What a round, Commander. Take a moment to breathe, and we'll be back in round 10 in a jiffy. That was quick. This is round 10 on the map Tournament Crater. Lamas has taken the lead at 5-4. This battle is brought to you by Gladiator Gym, where your workout is a fight for survival. Aiming for nothing less than a triumph on the bottom side of the map, wearing the green robes in the nod gloves, the tenacious warrior, Lamas. Set up to challenge his opponent with precision on the top side of the map, wearing the yellow robes, sporting the GDI gloves, the unyielding strategist, BartJones. Both fighters ready? Begin! Looks like we already have some shenanigans with some shadow teams going into the base of BartJones. What is he going to be able to grab? Is he going immediately for the power plant? There it goes. 1 power plant down. Shadow teams are definitely obnoxious to deal with. The scout has moved into the base of Lamas, but that is less than the shadow teams were able to get. Them being able to knock out the power plant is going to be huge for them. This Nod versus GDI fight continues, and I'm here for it. I am still a massive fan of the classic factions duking it out. Let's find out if BartJones has figured out an answer to the build of Lamas. Lamas definitely mixed it up this time around. He did use Shadow Team once before to take out power plants in this series, and he is so far uncontested inside of Lamas' base. Lamas finally getting a power plant out, and I'm assuming probably going to get taken out just as quickly. Shadow Team's getting ready to take out another power plant. Once again, there it goes, a second power plant damage on the refinery. These Shadow Teams are just being absolutely obnoxious, costing more and more money for his opponent, more and more money for BartJones. Small item of note for this map, if you notice, there is a circle sort of here for both factions where they can set up their MCV to start the building of this facility. Something else to consider, 2 other things to consider, is that this field right here starts growing. As in, it doesn't start with anything in it as of yet. It has to grow later on into the game. There are also 2 blue sets of Tiberium per player, or 1 per player. Shadow Team's getting another kill on pillboxes, getting the scouts of BartJones out of his base. He's just able to find really good purchase with these units. It will be nice to see what he plans to do next. I'm pretty sure if he took some time, he could probably take out one of these Tiberium spikes, and that does appear to be what he is aiming for as of right now. BartJones still not really having an answer to these guys. Sure, they have pit bulls, and we do finally have some APCs going that can potentially be the answer. And it looks like BartJones has opted to grab the EMP field early on, giving it time to build up and get ready for that engagement. That could be his answer to dealing with the avatars. Shadow Team still shirking around looking for another item to go after. They're going to get in an unfortunate situation. One Shadow Team getting absolutely decimated by this watchtower and almost squished by the harvester, but there's 1 Shadow Team left. But that means they can no longer just basically one-shot a power plant. Like I said, he did find amazing purchase with that. The man spam has started for the Nod faction, and I'm guessing we're going to see a bunch of APCs out here for GDI. I say that, but nothing really quite yet. These pit bulls are just sort of poking around. I don't believe BartJones has been able to get any scouting off on his opponent, but the other side of the too is Lamas hasn't done anything about the EMP control center over on this side of the map. He hasn't done anything to take it out or disrupt it, which could be a potential issue for him. Granted, it won't stop his infantry, but it will stop things like his bikes or vehicles, or he could even pop it on the base of his opponent if he so felt necessary. Bikes beginning their sharking over on this side of the map, potentially looking to grab something to snack on. They do spot the harvester. Getting a half load of blue Tiberium will be super helpful. There is the EMP control center going to work, saving his harvester. That is going to be great for him. One bike is going to get taken out. That harvester is almost dead. A couple other bikes moving in, and I believe they have switched over to Tib Core missiles. If they could stay still long enough. Yeah, there are the Tib Core missiles. That is really interesting. He did try that last time with not a whole bunch of success, and BartJones has moved into the natural expansion of Lamas trying to get a harvester. He does take out one. He does lose a pit bull, and he may even get a second harvester here in a second. That is not the case. He is not quite that lucky this time around. Lamas was definitely on the defense and ready to go. He did lose one harvester, but for the price of 4 pit bulls. I'm not sure if it was entirely worth, but it will delay the economy of his opponent, which will be super helpful. EMP Control Center still not quite dealt with, and it looks like that Shadow team has done a really good job of doing some scouting. There's not much more they can take out as of right now, but just doing that scouting, looking at that area for the harvester getting ready to go, possibly waiting for these Tib Core bikes, which are out of position right now. He does see the harvester going for it, and he could, if he sent his troops there, immediately potentially take out those that harvester, but that does not appear to be the case. I say that, and there's actually some Predator tanks and some defenses here ready to go. That's probably why he opted to not go after it instead. But that Shadow team is going to continue being a pest. At the very least, giving a small amount of scouting, helping him know what BartJones is up to, while on the other side, it's been a little bit since BartJones has been into the base of his opponent. It does look like we have a tech center and a reclamator hub out for his opponent, with the Marv very quickly on the way. So it looks like BartJones is going for his T3 units, going for his big boy units. Not the worst strategy. We haven't seen him use those too much. He is grabbing rocket squads, at least 2 rocket squads, possibly 3 rocket squads into the Marv, followed by 1 engineer. That's probably his goal. I don't know if they can use EMP inside of the Marv. I'm not as experienced in the game as I quite should be. It does look like we finally have an answer to the EMP control center. These Tib Core rockets are going to try to do what they can to take it out, but the Juggernaut is probably going to take them out just as quickly. I believe the Juggernaut actually helped in destroying the EMP control center for his opponent. I'm not sure if friendly fire is a thing in this game, but that is ultimately gone, while his opponent is taking the EMP control center over on his side of the match. It looks like BartJones has moved into his strategy of starting to do the best he can to pressure his opponent with this Marv, with these Juggernauts. Lamas has struggled in the past dealing with the Juggernauts, and the Marv wasn't there to soak up attacks, so it'll be interesting to see how he decides to deal with this engagement. We do have a couple of transports moving over to the other side of the map, with a couple of rocket squads being able to get some shots off. One does finally get taken down, killing that engineer, and looks like the second one is just sort of stuck here. Rocket squads popping out of their deal to take out the air transport, but I'm not sure if they're going to get this engineer. It doesn't look like he is paying attention to that just yet. A 4th Juggernaut has joined the Marv over here, and Marv is going to do what it can. He's going to do what GEI faction does, and probably try to Marv up his opponent's natural expansion. No movement so far into the natural expansion of BartJones. BartJones has opted not to go for that just quite yet. Those squads were able to get a good number of shots off on some militant squads, not doing too much. One Orca getting almost absolutely decimated, but nothing just quite yet. They're both posturing for this large engagement as more and more Juggernauts begin to join the fray. There is the barracks. There is the watchtower. The assault has begun. Is BartJones, is Lamas going to be able to deal with the forces of BartJones? It does look like 2 juggernauts were taken down in the background. That is going to be particularly great for him, and they're going to be able to move forward. This Marv is less of a threat than these juggernauts. These juggernauts need to be taken out in order for Lamas to do anything successful. Another bomber moving in, trying to get another one of these juggernauts. Hopefully, doesn't look like he gets any bombs off as of right now, and the forces of Lamas are beginning to evaporate. This is not looking good for him. 1 bomb does get hit down on the juggernaut, but not enough to take it out, and the avatar and the majority of the forces of Lamas are here with his opponent on his front doorstep. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to get done. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make a comeback. He's going to need a large number of resources. He was able to take out juggernauts, but these juggernauts are going to get repaired by the engineers. Lamas, losing that last engagement, sees that he's lost too much and that his opponent is just too well fortified on his natural expansion. He decides to call the GG, moving us in to round 11. Amazing plays, Commander. Recharge those batteries, and I'll see you in round 11. This is round 11, Commander, on the map Tournament Decision. For the 5th time, our score is tied up at 5-5. This skirmish is brought to you by Echo Chamber Earbuds. Hearing your own opinions loud and clear. Geared up for a tactical duel in the bottom left-hand side of the map, wearing the green robes and the nod gloves, the strategic maverick, Lamas. With his sights set on the prize in the top right side of the map, wearing the yellow robes, sporting the GDI gloves, the resolute contender, BartJones. Both fighters ready? Begin! This is our final round. The fighter that comes out on top will grab the game-winning points. Will the juggernauts of BartJones take the cake, or will the man and avatar of Lamas dominate? Let's find out! Tournament Decision is a map that really lets everything go and go quickly. You can have more harvesters going in this first Tiberian field than you can on plenty of other maps. After that, it is standard size natural expansions per player, as well as an odd natural expansion over on the top side of the map. There's an EMP control center here with 2 defensive towers, so it'll be interesting to see if we get that, get use of that this time around. Our players have started off with bike and buggy versus pitbull. There are 4 bikes here with a buggy, not quite enough to get 2 volleys off on a harvester, but who knows, maybe he's got something cooked up his sleeve. We will find out here in a couple of seconds. Buggy moving in for the scout ahead of the bikes. The bike's starting their assault over here, and I'm not sure it's going to be able to do anything. The harvester is going to be able to run around. The power plant is going to be able to block off, and that harvester just has the smallest amount of HP. 1 harvester is going to get taken down for the price of 2 bikes. That is not a bad trade. Delaying your opponent and taking his harvesters are going to be good, especially on this early part of the map. If he can disrupt his opponent, if Lamas can disrupt his opponent enough times early on, that is going to be great for him. Lamas opting for 3 refineries along with BartJones on this massive expansion. That does seem to be the standard build for this part. What will be the true item to take the cake is how they transition into taking their natural expansions. APCs and Pitbulls have started their move, have started their sharking, looking around to see what they can see, possibly preparing for some sort of assault. I take that back, and we actually got an engineer inside of the APC. BartJones has taken his opponent's tip spike, which is going to be good for him. He does not get that initial 500 bonus since Lamas had already taken it, but if he can hold on to that tip spike long enough, it's going to make it worth the cost of his engineer, and he's also going to deny that for his opponent. More buildings in the center of the map are going to get cleared out by this Pitbull APC pair, leaving, for the most part, not much left. I take it back. The militant squads are still here, but they can be easily taken out by the Pitbull, or by the APC of BartJones. We have an armory, we have a command post, and we have a tech center for the GDI player. It looks like he's going heavily into tech right off the bat. Tech lab and operations center are down for his opponent, are down for Lamas as of right now, and it looks like the expansion has begun for BartJones, moving his MCV down to the location in the bottom. And we have some flame tanks. One flame tank taking out the Tiberium spike that was taken over by BartJones. These flame tanks probably going to try to do the same thing to this Tiberium spike. That will be good for them if they can make it over there in time. However, there are obstacles between them and their objective. If BartJones can shut that down, that'll be great for him, because then his opponent will only be down one Tiberium spike. But that is not to be the case. Those flame tanks are moving around over to the northern side of his opponent. First avatar is out for the Nod faction, but it's not going to be enough to deal with the forces of BartJones over here, considering BartJones also has reinforcements on their way. One APC getting taken down, but the avatar is at half HP. Second avatar is going to help and join his friend over here. We have 4 avatars ready to go, but no real answers to the man spam of, or to the infantry of BartJones. There is the answer right there. The Shredder turret. Shredder turret going to start making its work. One avatar get taken down. The forces so far aren't looking super great for his opponent over here. Flame tank finding some purchase on the northern side of the map, but not quite enough to make a difference. Reinforcements coming in for BartJones. These Shredder turrets just sort of worth their weight in gold, doing a lot, but it looks like 2 to 3 avatars got taken down. Their corpses are still there, so Lamas has time to recover them. Here are the reinforcements of BartJones. I'm not sure what all they're going to be able to do, because they're here just a little bit too late. If it is man, they're going to be able to do a little more against these militant squads, and that does appear to be the case. Third set of Shredder turrets are here to try to get what they can, but one avatar is getting taken down. That is really good for BartJones. He has taken down avatar after avatar, left and right. He does look to be a little bit less established on his natural expansion, but his Marv and his Juggernaut are here ready to go. And I don't believe we've seen Lamas quite be able to deal with the Marv and the Juggernaut of his opponent of BartJones. One avatar sort of doing some scouting, not sure that is the best idea. He knows that at some point his opponent's probably going to transition into Juggernauts, and I take that back. It looks like that was a decoy avatar moving into the base. Pillbox is getting deployed to continue to be annoying over on this choke point. They're going to get slowly whittled down by the Shredder turrets, but I'm not sure it's going to matter too much. Mine drop happening over here, preventing the Marv from moving forward, and it looks like we're transitioning over into Spectre tanks. That may not be a bad idea. They're going to get a couple of hits off on these off on this Marv, but not enough to really do too much damage, because that Marv has 2 engineers. I am unsure where those strikes are coming from. Oh, okay, from the Juggernauts. I don't know how he has vision over on this side of the map. Maybe he got a force over there that I quite missed. Spectres are continuing their assault on their opponent's base. It looks like the Venoms are here to start poking around and see what they can see, so maybe they can get some targets for the artillery, but that is not the case. They're going to get taken down rather unceremoniously by this AA battery. Spectre continuing to do damage to this Marv, but that's fine. It looks like the Marv is almost primarily here to soak up damage, having those 2 engineers inside. Mass Venoms are going to finally take out the annoyance just north of Lamas's base, and the Spectres are going to continue their assault, 2 getting taken down instantly by a single dual volley for these Juggernauts. I'm not sure Lamas has the answer even right now to deal with these Juggernauts, to deal with these Marvs. He does have 2 Spectres, but that's a far cry from being able to take out the full set of forces over here. Granted, BartJones doesn't know how much of advantage he has for this time being. It looks like Lamas has spent most of his money on these Venoms, which if he can find some purchase with them will be super great, but I'm not sure what he's going to be able to get done. I guess he could sweep in and take out these avatars, but the AA batteries are here to start dealing with it. The assault has begun on the natural expansion of Lamas over here. Plenty of avatars to begin the assault, but still no answer to these juggernauts. It's not looking real great for him. Here are a set of bombers and a set of venoms moving in. Hopefully they're going to be able to get a good number of juggernauts. They only get one. Unfortunately, that is going to be not the greatest for them. Venom's not really having an answer. They are going to snipe one of the corpses of the Juggernaut, but I'm not sure how much that is going to matter. These avatars are pushed all the way back, and these Juggernauts are just pushing over and over and over along with this Marv, absolutely pressuring Lamas. Lamas building or repairing one of the Spectres, getting ready. Another air factory getting taken down. Another Juggernaut getting taken down. The Venoms are going to start picking on these Juggernauts. Airstrike does happen, getting a couple of the air units, nothing major as of right now. These Venoms are just being absolute pests when it comes to dealing with these Juggernauts, and it looks like the answer to those Venoms are going to be these rocket squads. However, there are only 2 Juggernauts left. This is looking better for Lamas as of right now. He also has a bomber ready to go to take out this last Juggernaut if he's paying attention, if it has the rounds inside of it. Avatars beginning their assault on the Marv. Marv is half HP. One Juggernaut does make its way back up, I'm assuming after getting an engineer inside of it. But the base is still being pressured by BartJones. BartJones moving his MCV, as he likes to do, into the natural expansion of his opponent. He does only have one Juggernaut here, but he has a Marv with a bunch of stuff in it ready to go. However, these avatars did do a good number of damage the last time around. Disruptor Tower is here to sort of help with the defense, but I'm not sure how Lamas is going to be able to get out of this. Avatar's still not doing quite much, just sort of stuck over here in the back part of the map. And there it is. There is the game-winning point. BartJones taking this series just barely. The score being 5-6 in BartJones' favor. Thank you for tuning in, Commander. I have been your host, Korak. Transmission out.